Kappa is the new world champion.
Brad qui passe premier. Rolling.
C'est fait. Papou est votre gagnant.
Scrapie, voilà.
Champion du monde.
And Pat will make it, and Pat is your world champion.
CarlJr. CarlJr qui a foncé comme une fusée.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the TrackMania Grand League. We are gonna kick off the playoff phase right here after a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break that we've had in between the group stage and the playoffs that are gonna be starting today. And yeah, I welcome all of you to a little bit of an early TrackMania session. Normally we've had the TMGL at 8 PM CST, now we're gonna have it a bit earlier today at 4. And I am gonna be accompanied by no one other than Radiance. Once again, hello and welcome, my dude.
Hello, it's good to be back.
It is awesome to have you again. Welcome. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're looking forward to some TrackMania Grand League. Finally, after the long break, man.
Yeah, it's been a while since players last played on the maps, and hopefully they've had enough practice to give us a good show here today.
Absolutely. So you guys might be wondering, what has changed or what is different compared to what we had in the group stage? And the answer is simple. We are going to get rid of the champions mode. So that means we're not going to play in the laps format anymore, but we're going to play in our regular standard TrackMania Cup mode, which means that we are going to play similar to the tournaments that you usually see in TrackMania. We have Cup mode with 120 points of a point limit and the infamous finalist mode. So similar to what you've seen in, let's say, the Zerator Cup or the TrackMania World Championship 2018. This is gonna return for the TMGL for the entirety of the playoff phase. So we are gonna stick to this format until the very end. And today we're gonna witness the first out of 5 matches that will be coming up this September. So every Sunday, you guys are gonna be here. I force you to be here at this point, because we're gonna have 5 absolutely amazing matches coming up, which are going to be played at 5 PM CST. So we have a little bit of time to just talk a bit about the competition and to also interview a couple players. Then we also have the new pick and ban phase, which is going to be introduced with this format. So the players are going to have the choice for some maps. So it's going to be your veto system that you know from other games, from games like CSGO, for example. So you guys are going to be able to see and also to hear the live pick from the players. We are going to be in the voice chat later on with all of the drivers that are going to be competing in the first match. And these drivers are going to be Kappa, 2018 World Champion from the Czech Republic, CarlJr from Canada, you all know him, he is going to be competing here as well, together with Scrapie from Belgium and Papou from France for Team Gamers Origin. So these 4 players are going to be in our first match today, and they will be battling it out for the survival in the winner bracket. So we're gonna have a double elimination bracket right here, which means that the top 2 will move on in the winner bracket, the bottom 2 will drop down to the loser bracket, but from there they can still manage to qualify for the grand final, which is gonna be played live on stage at the Paris Games Week at the end of October, which is gonna be distributing the prize pool of 5,000 euro that is gonna be given away here to the 4 players that managed to survive through the playoff phase. So this is, it's a crazy matchup, Radiance. We have these 4 players that are all big names in the scene, especially CarlJr and Kappa, 2 world champions already here. So it's a bit like reminiscent to what we had in the TrackMania World Championship last year.
Yeah, I mean, these players that are currently up for this match right now, they are pretty equal skill level, I'd say. Some people, of course, have a bit of an edge on the tech style, which is mainly this, I would say. And Papou, of course, has a lot of experience on dirt, but it is a lot of tech maps, so I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what can be done here.
Yeah, indeed. Like, the thing is, we have this super versatile map pack, and you might wonder, hey, do they play on the same maps? The answer is yes, we play on the same maps, but there is a twist. There is a twist to these maps. This one might look familiar to you. This one has been played in the group stage. But, since we're not playing in the Champions mode, the maps are also not multi-lap anymore. So, the maps have been slightly altered to give you a safe and a risky finish. So in case of this map, let's just take this map as an example. You will have the chance to go for the really risky finish, which is a wall hit into the finish, or you go for the safe route and continue your left-hand drift into the finish line. So you have two different choices here, depending on your situation, depending on your confidence as well. And every single map is going to give you this option, or pretty much every map will have two finishes. There are some maps that only have one, but that one will be difficult in itself. So we're going to have the slight modification to these maps, but other than that, the maps are the exact same, so nothing has changed, and the map pack will remain roughly the same. A few maps actually haven't made it into the playoff map pack, but the majority are still gonna be the same. Alright, so I think it is time to take a look at what our four players have to say. We have a few interviews right here prepared for you, so we're going to take a look at what Scrapie, Kappa, and Papou have to say. We're not going to be able to reach out to CarlJr since he's going to be busy with the French cast hosted over at Solaris. So that's something that you might want to check out as well for the French-speaking TrackMania fans out here. But we are going to have the interviews right here. So let's kick it off. We have Papou, Kappa, and Scrapie. So first of all, welcome everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, hello. So, yeah, Radiance is gonna guide you through a few questions that we prepared. So, feel free to take it off, man.
Yeah, sweet. All right. First of all, I want to start off with how much have you guys trained for this match today?
I guess we can
Anyone
just
of you can start.
We can start with Kappa, then Papou, then Scrapie.
Sure, sure.
Oh, hello everyone. To answer your question, I would say much more than for the group stage, that's for sure. And I guess it's more than enough to be competitive against the best, which are accumulated in this match, I believe. So, yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty well prepared.
All right. And Scrapie?
Yeah, I prepared, let's say, about 40 hours. It should be enough to be competitive here. But it's still gonna depend on the map pack.
All right, then Papou?
Hello. I don't know how much exactly I put in training in this month, but yeah, I train a lot. Put a lot of efforts to have my best chance to qualify against these players, and yeah, I think I'm definitely prepared. Yeah, let's see.
Can you put up your mic, Papou? You're really silent. Is that
Sure.
possible?
He's shy.
No need to be, man. No need to be.
All right, so it seems like you all have trained a lot. So I want to start up with a question for you, Scrapie. You finished in the top half, just ahead of Papou on 4th place, I believe it was. And I just want to know if you feel like you have a good shot at taking top 2 in this match right here.
In this match, it's going to be really close. I think I have a good chance overall to reach the finals. But in this match, I'm not sure, because I really think these are 4 out of the 5 strongest players in the playoffs, and it's going to be really hard. But we'll have to see.
All right. And Papou, of course, you're known as this dirt king. How do you think that you're going to perform with the limited amount of dirt that is on this map pack right here? And do you think the pick and ban phase will have specific bans towards you because there are a couple maps with a couple dirt turns?
I think it could have a certain effect on my performance, but yeah, I mean, I need to adapt myself on every kind of map, so that's what I did already in the group stages with the released amount of dirt maps. So yeah, I just think I will need to adapt myself.
Yeah. And Kappa, you finished in the 8th place here, just about nailing the playoffs. But being known as a very, very good and very fast tech / all-around player, do you feel like the change of format is benefiting you rather than destroying your chances?
What do you mean by the system format?
It's rounds mode instead of endurance.
I also consider myself a good laps player, but I think this mode is much more enjoyable for me to practice for, because you can basically just hunt the maps, which I really love, instead of playing lap by lap, you know, and you never know how good you are really playing at the moment. And yeah, but you mentioned the league standings. I finished at top 8, and so I'm quite an underdog right here, so I can only surprise them.
That is true. And of course, we can't just talk about you three. You also have this Canadian competitor, CarlJr. He has been dominating a lot in the group stages, but do you feel like you can take him on if he doesn't make mistakes? Like, do you have it trained enough to the part that you're actually going to beat him?
Question goes
Anyone?
to anyone?
Yeah.
To anyone?
To anyone, alright, well. Who wants to answer this hard one first?
I don't know. I feel like if Carl drives at his best, like his fast times, it's like for me not gonna be possible to beat him if he drives on really top form. But the thing is, we'll have to see how fast he can actually go. Like his hunted times are obviously insane, but how fast he drives in rounds mode, we'll have to see.
Yeah, for me, I believe it's very doable, but it really depends on my own performance. Like if I perform on my good standard that I was doing in my practice, then I can definitely beat him, because I also have very fast times offline, no leak. But yeah, it really depends on the map pack and on my own performance. We will see.
Yeah, same. I think he has definitely really good times in time attack, and yeah, I think every players in this semi-final can beat each other. So it will depend also of the form of the players. But yeah, we'll see.
Alright, and then a couple more for each one of you. So Scrapie, since you have no team at the moment, does that boost your motivation to perform and eventually pick up a team, or what is your stance on that?
Yeah, I really want to try to impress in this tournament, reach the finals obviously, and so it becomes easier, not only to find an organization, also for contract negotiations and all of that. If you perform good, obviously it's way better for myself.
Yeah. Alright, and Papou, congratulations on qualifying for the Air France Cup.
Thank you.
Do you think that the training for that cup has impacted your training for TMGL in any way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it boosted my mindset, because yeah. I think if I lost to yesterday, I think I would have been in a bad, not a really good mood for today. But yeah, I think it was a good thing what happened yesterday. Looking forward to what happens next.
Yeah. Alright, and then Kappa, finally, you recently put out a tweet which said, and I'll quote, "This will also be my last tournament for Team Zombie before I cut down my activity again." Is this something you'd like to address or say a few words about to the viewers that are watching right now?
I think it's all said in that tweet. So yeah, this is indeed my last tournament for Team Zombie. I will no longer be part of the team anymore, and it's a bit of a retirement, but I've already retired a few times in the past, so I just try to say it in different fashion, you know.
All right, I think that was it for me. I don't know if Riolo, you have any questions?
Yeah, I would like to dive into that, Kappa, if you accept that. I wonder what makes you take that decision. Like, what gets you to completely quit now, because you have like this opportunity with TMGL, which is obviously going to continue next year, and a lot of big competitions, the Raider Cup and all of the others, you name it. they return next year, so what makes you just cut it off after TMGL now?
Well, the problem is, as you could see already in the group stage, that I really don't have that much time throughout the year. Obviously, when there's one tournament, like every 3 months, then I can find the time to practice. But when there's a stat like every week or every other week, and we have 5 new maps, then I obviously don't have that much time to practice so many new and difficult tracks, and I really don't enjoy myself like being, dominated by players that I don't consider being better than me. So that's a bit frustrating.
Yeah, I understand. So it's mainly studies that hold you back at this point, or what's the matter?
Absolutely, studies and a new job.
Okay, so you're just trying to get away from gaming entirely and just focus on real life?
Well, I would love to, combine everything, but, we all only have 24 hours daily, so it's kinda impossible to be a top player and still have good real life.
Well, unless you make gaming your job, sort of. If I mean, you never know, maybe TrackMania is gonna pop off. Have you ever thought about that possibility? That TrackMania becomes like a top tier game and then you're like at the spot?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I tweeted that I'm gonna cut down my activity for now. I wanna finish my studies, and then maybe in 2 years when TrackMania is big, apparently I can come back, But for now, it's a break for me.
Okay, so it's a break.
This is, yeah.
It's a break, but not like a complete goodbye to TrackMania.
I might come back. I also might play like Zerator Cup next year when I have time, when I have the motivation, and maybe I just don't wanna say anything specific at the moment because things may change now.
Okay, I see. Well, best of luck with that, my dude. And I also have one general question before we go into the pick and ban phase. How did you practice? Like, what were your methods? Have you had like any specific way to practice? Anything that you did? Like, I don't know, practice, let's say, have a target time and just try to beat that consecutively? Or what was your way of practicing these maps? I guess, Kappa, you can just continue since you're in the flow right now.
Okay, yeah, like always, I was just hunting for most of the time, and the last few days I tried to get a bit of consistency as well on the track. I think I did quite well.
So for you it was first time attack, like just try hard, get the fastest time, and then bit of consistency practice?
Yeah, but apparently I almost beat all my PBs yesterday while trying to be consistent, so but it worked.
Alright, not bad. What about you, Papou?
Yeah, same. I started my training with hunting the maps in time attack, and then lastly I mainly train in rounds to get a good and fast consistency. And yeah, I hope it will be enough.
Is that how you always practice? Let's say you have I don't know, a dirt competition or Zerator Cup. Is that also how you practice?
Let me think a little bit. SoftyB gives me some times to beat, and I need to do a certain amount of times under that target time. For example.
Yeah, I see.
But not for game assembly. I'm training along for assembly.
Alright, so just only like for big tournaments you had SoftyB trying to push you a bit, I guess?
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Like Zerator Cup or TMGL.
I see. I mean, yeah, makes sense for such a big tournament. Like, you need the preparation, yeah. What about you, Scrapie?
I just play.
You just play, like, just try hard, put the hours in.
I join spam server and play, and that's all I do.
Okay. But it's been successful for you so far?
Yeah, it's always like I trained, like back in the days. For competitions, I just put in the hours. I didn't have targets. I didn't practice rounds. I just played time attack and drove good times. And then in match, I got my consistency. In practice matches, it never works, but in match, it always works.
I see. Well, I think that's it. Thank you for taking your time, guys. And I wish you the best of luck for your match.
I see.
Thank you.
Alright, so in a few seconds we're gonna start the pick and ban phase. So you guys will be able to witness that as well. We're going to be in the voice chat, as we said earlier. We're going to be in the voice chat with all of the players, where they will be doing their picks and bans. So before we start, just a quick heads up. It's going to be in a specific order, and everyone will be able to pick one map and ban one map. That's everything you need to know. And other than that, we are pretty much ready to dive into the lobby.
Until the rules are given. So first, welcome for this semi-final of the TrackMania Grand League playoffs. Some reminders on the rules about the poses. You should know about it, but still. So you have 2 poses, each of 30 seconds. You cannot pose during a warm-up or at the end of the last round of a map. You can pose right after a pose, meaning that you don't have a double pose possible. You'll have to wait the next round. During a pose, no matter from who, every single coaches are allowed to join their player channel on Discord, and only at that time. And during a pause, the streamers are allowed as well to join the channel to listen what your coach is saying or yourself. That's it about the poses. Now on to the pick and bans. You should know that you cannot ban a map more than one time during all the playoffs, including the grand final as well. And also, you'll have 30 seconds to think about your pick or your ban. So you won't be able to say your map before that. You'll have to wait the 30 seconds. And that's it about the rules. It's 120 points to win, 7 seconds finish timeout, and that's pretty much all you need to know. So we'll start with CarlJr picking right now. You'll have 30 seconds.
Hi. I'm gonna ban second step.
Thanks, Carl. So we are waiting so that the stream can follow as well. And then it will be up to Scrapie to ban his map. Scrapie, it's your turn.
I ban Airbridge.
Now, Goku, you have 30 seconds.
I will pick Paradise Palms.
Now on to Kappa's pick.
Do I ban or pick first? I don't know.
Pick.
I pick mushrooms.
Okay, then you have 30 seconds as well to ban as well your map.
I will ban interlude.
Scrapie, you can pick now.
I pick Elevate.
Now it's to Papou to ban his map.
I will ban the forest.
And now it's up to CarlJr to pick.
I'll pick bet winners.
Okay. So the last two maps are Euro Sky and Twinnings. I'm gonna randomize between those two. And it's Euro Sky as the 5th map. So the map pack will be... I already forgot. Wow. Yeah, Paradise. Sorry, yeah, Paradise Palm. And then we'll have mushrooms. Elevate, sorry. Betweeners, and then obviously Eurosky as the last map. That's the map pack. The match starts in 15 minutes. So that's it. You can go back to your channels. And
can I talk to my coach? Yeah, okay.
Will you randomize the map order, or is it how we said
Nope.
it?
It is exactly as you said.
Oh, okay.
Good luck to everyone, and have a great match.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, so you heard it there. We have the pick and ban phase. And we are gonna be having a little bit of a break until everything and everyone is settled. So that is a very interesting map choice right there. That's for sure. That's for sure, Radiant.
It's gonna be spicy. I am already excited for this. Paradise Palms, mushrooms, betwinners, and I cannot. And Eurosky was randomized, and then I think Elevate was picked as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're gonna have an overlay soon, or an overview over what everyone has picked. We have to do everything manually. I think there will be an automated system at some point, which is gonna make it a lot easier. But right now we have to do everything manually. So in the meantime, you can take a look at a bit of practice. And you guys in the in-game chat, or in the in-game chat, I mean in the Twitch chat, you guys will also be able to vote for your favorite players again. So you can write go/player name, and they will receive a couple of those beautiful hearts in the scoreboard right here. So you can do that if you want. If you want to support your favorite player, Scrapie, Kappa, CarlJr, or Papou. So make sure to do that if you want, and show your player some support.
So obviously, since Carl got first place, he will probably have the least benefiting map order. Do you think that's going to have any sort of impact in this match, Rilo?
Sorry?
Do you think because CarlJr got the first place in the group stages, that the map order, of course, he got to pick last, and there was only a limited amount of choices he had. If it's going to drag him down a little bit, benefit the others in some sort of way?
Not sure actually. I think he has his picks very well thought out, and since he's always first, it's gonna be for the others a bit. It will impact the other choices as well. So it's kind of hard to tell in how much or in what regard it's gonna impact CarlJr. But I think he knows what he's doing, and considering the fact that you can only ban or pick one map, like in the entirety of the playoffs, you need to think of your steps. And I think what CarlJr did with banning second steps and picking betwinners, yeah, I think he knows what he's doing.
Obviously, Scrapie in the Twitch chat saying Carl banned Scrapie's best map, so that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah,
well, that's how it is,
strategy.
man.
That's the strategy.
That's how it is, dude.
Yep.
Alright, so let me just go through this overlay. Kind of hard to do this manually, not gonna lie. I'm having a hard time right now. So let's see, how does it look like for the votes? I think they don't update instantaneously, but seems to be very equal. See a couple votes for Bergie. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Bergie for TMGL 2020.
Yeah, make it happen.
Time to make it happen, indeed.
But for real, there's a lot of Kappa in there, I see, and a little bit of Scrapie. And yeah, let's see what will happen, I guess. think the map order should be loaded here.
Alright, 5 minutes left. We had a couple of technical problems here in the background that I had to take care of. So, yeah, unfortunately, nothing to really report right now. But we have 5 minutes left. Players are warming up. And you can see the overlay, which has been reworked a little bit here. So, a couple of visual updates here for you on the stream that you can embrace. So, a little bit cleaner, less information to work with. So you will be able to see all of the important information as soon as we are going to go live. So you can see the checkpoint distances, you can see general information of the player here on the right side on the little card here. And everything that you need to know otherwise. And yeah, maybe Radiance, what do you predict for this match? Like, who do you think is going to take it?
Oh, this is a nail-biter match, but my money would probably... I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna go for Kappa. I think he has what it takes, and I think he's super motivated to do one last good match here, or one last good cup. So I'm gonna go with Kappa for first place, and probably a battle with CarlJr and Scrapie for second and third, and then Papou in last, but really close behind them.
So you think Kappa wants to just prove it one last time that he can do it, and then kind of leave the scene with a good mood, sort of?
Yes, exactly.
All right. I mean, it's very, very likely that he's gonna give it all, since he kind of knows this is gonna be like the last big opportunity till he goes for the break, which comes to a pleasant, or well, kind of an unpleasant surprise, because I expected Kappa to just keep going now at this point, since we have the TrackMania Grand League, which is just in the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a lot more coming up for the TrackMania Grand League in the next years. There are big plans coming up for the first season as well, which is going to be coming up. So it's only the beginning right here. You are only witnessing a very small part of the iceberg right here. A lot is going to happen. So yeah, the players, of course, kind of know, or they kind of expect a lot coming up. So that will also boost their motivation. Or also take care of real life, which is honestly understandable. I mean, taking care of the studies, that's also something that should be taken care of. So definitely, I can feel Kappa for sure. I can feel him.
Yeah. What about your predictions for this match? What is in your mind?
I think, as you said, this one's a very hard one to pick, because I believe all of the players could possibly do it. Especially with this very interesting map choice right here. So I am gonna put my money on Scrapie and CarlJr.
Alright.
For this match. But yeah, it could go either way. It could also be the other two that I just didn't name, that they go through, because I believe right here we're gonna have a really close match with points, I would guess, never exceeding a gap of 20-30 points between all players. That's how close it's gonna be. That's my prediction only. Like, not saying this is scripted, but that's my prediction.
Alright. Do you know what the point limit is?
The point limit is gonna be 120. Great question right there. So 120 is gonna be our point limit here, and finalist mode. Finalist mode meaning that you have to win another round to secure your position. So let's say you are the first one to cross the 120 point limit, then you need to win another round to stay on that first place, to seal the deal, and to make it closed out at the end of the day. So that's basically finalist mode in a nutshell. It has been provoking a lot of very interesting situations in past matches in TrackMania history. Finalist mode being something that can get you quite tilted sometimes, if you manage to not close it out immediately, if you happen to just constantly get denied by other players that didn't reach finalist mode yet, or others that just snipe that finalist mode away from you and then take the victory right in front of your eyes. So finalist mode definitely interesting, and I think it will play quite a crucial role here in this match as well.
Yeah, definitely. Also, if you're not the fastest of the bunch, if you're consistently driving alright, pretty fast times, but there's always one of the other guys risking it and getting first place, you'll never be able to to go through and actually secure a spot in top 2. But I think it's going live. I'm not sure.
Not yet, but we should be
Not
going
yet?
live
Okay.
in a few minutes at most. So you guys can look forward to the match starting very, very soon. Even though the points are reset, so we might actually start right here, by the looks of it. So we're gonna have one warm-up here in this playoff match number 1 out of 5. This is the winner bracket, so all of the players are starting in the winner bracket. Top 2 will move on into the next match of the winner bracket, and the bottom 2 will drop out. Our first map is going to be Paradise Palms by Link, which is one of the maps that have come from the group stage. And this one will have the special identity of the palm tree section near the end of the track, where you have to get yourself a proper line through the palm trees, drop onto the grass with a flat landing, and then manage to squeeze yourself just in between this gap, which is barely wider than your own car. So that is gonna be the crucial section of this track, which Scrapie and Kappa are approaching right here. Also Papou, and he is touching the wall a little bit. Lucky for him that it's just a warm-up. And then the final jump into the finish, where you need to maintain the optimal speed, otherwise you're not gonna make the jump. So you use the blue part, the blue side of the water pool, which does give you a lot of grip instead of the grass, which makes you slide. So, going live right here with Scrapie, Kappa, CarlJr, and Papou with the first match of the TrackMania Grand League Beta Season Playoff. And we are currently following Papou through his first couple turns right here. The dirt surface is of course very good for him, so he can maybe make up a difference, but the others are very well prepared as well, and they are going for very similar lines, even though we have Papou going for a little overtake right here on Kappa, who didn't get a very good landing there after that dirt exit. So Papou moving up to 3rd place. We have Scrapie on 1st place, not with the greatest exit speed, and goes out wide here for that setup into the left-hander. Scrapie still holding up very nicely, so he is in a fight here with CarlJr, the triple world champion from Canada. Papou with an insane turn to the left, goes up to 1st place. That was really good grip management, and also here up the dirt part, Papou extending his lead, and we see Kappa also closing in. Scrapie with a different approach. He goes to the left of the palm tree, and now we have this section, the aforementioned identity with Papou and CarlJr making a mistake. Scrapie and Kappa fighting it out for the 1st place, and it looks like it's going to be Scrapie, but Kappa with more speed, almost going for that overtake. And we have had a great first round right here, with Scrapie taking the first 10 points in front of Kappa, Papou, and CarlJr.
0.03 seconds behind Scrapie Kappa was. As we go into round number 2 in the start here, let's go with CarlJr for this one, as he seems to have the weaker start of the bunch. And as I say that, Kappa actually touches twice, so he will drop back down into 4th place. It is a battle between Papou and Scrapie right now. Let's see the different lines here. Papou goes a little bit wider to gain a little more speed, and actually passes Scrapie in the jump there. So a little better dirt line by Papou puts him into 1st place. As we go into the drop, and Papou still managing to keep Scrapie behind him, but nothing is said and done so far. CarlJr also lurking in the shadows behind Scrapie to go up to this little U-turn section. And Papou driving very clean. Goes a little bit wide there, and Scrapie will actually overtake him here, as they are neck and neck. And here, once again, we display the different line. And let's see if anyone makes a mistake. No, nobody makes a mistake yet. CarlJr also coming out to Papou now. Scrapie is very safe in the lead here. And Scrapie will take 1st, Papou in 2nd, CarlJr in 3rd. And after a little bit of a sloppy start by Kappa, he takes only 4th place in this round.
What a risky approach by Scrapie, though. We gotta pick up on that. He is the only player to actually go to the left of that palm tree on the grass part entry. So that is, by the looks of it, a lot harder to actually line up, because you have a tighter line and less room to work with when you try to approach for the next tight section through the palm trees. So Scrapie with a lot of risk, but it did pay off right now. He is 1st with 20 points. And right now in this round, it is CarlJr with the slowest start. The Canadian player from Team Solary. He is trying to go for an attack. Goes for a very wide line right here for a lot of speed. Tries to close in. Papou doing a great job keeping up that 1st place. CarlJr closing in a little bit here. This part now very important. You want to slide as little as possible as you go up the platform. but still keep a line that allows you to keep ground contact at the top of the hill. Very close between all of the players. Only 1200ths of a second between all of the 4 players. Scrapie with his line. Papou hitting his head on the palm tree right there. And it's going to be Kappa that's trying to attack Scrapie. And right now it is successful. But we're coming down to the last part. And Kappa gets a little slowdown because he went too far left on the water pool. Lucky that he didn't get thrown into the water right there. So he was able to stay on second place. But that was, yeah, very, very close right there. Papou with the DNF, actually. He wasn't able to reach the finish line at all, Radiance. Wow.
Unfortunate Papou. So Papou in last place now with only 10 points. Scrapie, 3 out of 3 so far for him. So let's see if he can keep this up, as he has a pretty good start out of these first couple of corners as we go into this little third U-turn. And again, we see a slightly different approach by Papou, and he just shoots forward with a little bit more speed and goes up into first place, actually second now, as Scrapie overtakes him. But in last place right now, with a good overview, is Kappa. CarlJr had to release slightly there in order to keep up with the other guys. And as we go into this right-hander here, very, very tight corner coming up there, as we go into the palms now. Once again, Scrapie the only one going inside. And Papou, though, has a lot more speed than Scrapie. And actually Kappa as well. It's a 3-way battle for second place here. CarlJr actually almost gets it, but he clips in the finish line. And that actually leaves Scrapie in second and CarlJr in third place.
CarlJr even got 4th because he hit the finish block on the left side. And he didn't reach the finish line immediately. So CarlJr actually got thrown back to 4th place even. So right now he is last on the scoreboard with only 14 points. Scrapie with 36 already. Papou with 20 and 19 for Kappa. And there goes Papou. Almost playing golf with friends right there. Went into the hole. But luckily he was able to get out. So Papou will be last in this round. Definitely no way for him to catch up again. So he will have to settle with that 3 points. Kappa, Scrapie, and CarlJr. Ooh, Kappa almost jumping too far left into that wall. Very risky stuff by the Czech player. But we have a great fight here for that first place. Scrapie with a bit of an oversteer. Almost hit the wall on the right side. What a save by the Belgian player. But he was having to deal with a bit of a speed loss right there. He's still on first place, but he is being chased down in a hot pursuit by CarlJr, who goes for a slightly tighter line around that right-hand bend, and he went up to first place. Kappa on third right now, dropping onto the grass once again, once more, and this time around everyone is avoiding the contact with the inflatable palm trees right there. Coming down to the last turn, it is CarlJr that's having the upper hand, but Scrapie with more speed, and it is gonna be Scrapie that stays ahead of CarlJr by 300ths of a second. What a snipe right there at the end, and Scrapie with the next 10 points, and Papou with another DNF, the second one, man. The second one.
Yeah, the finish timer only being 7 seconds really is hurting Papou at the moment. Makes a couple of small mistakes in the start and then a small wall touch in the ending there, and that just makes him not able to finish at all. So it is really not forgiving this finish timer, but of course these players are the cream of the crop, so they are expected to finish most of the rounds. But unfortunately Papou with 2 DNFs here on the first map is really gonna cost him later on.
Yeah, indeed, like in this point system, a DNF really costs you a lot, and it does put a big impact onto your mindset as well, because having 2 DNFs in a row, that's obviously going to put you in a bit of a struggle situation. Like, you wonder, hey, what's going on with me? Like, I'm making mistakes, I'm not finishing the rounds, I need to like get the focus back, and that's a very crucial situation to be in for Papou right now. However, he's not out of it yet. He is actually with a tie right now. 20 points for both CarlJr and Papou. Kappa not too far away, so there's only 3 points tearing these 3 players apart. And then there's Scrapie right now on another level, having won most of the rounds at 46 points. Have you expected Scrapie to dominate that first map that much?
No, not at all. But as I believe Paradise Palms, it was a week 1 or 2 map, and Scrapie actually dominated on that one until he lost all of his points in the later couple of laps. So of course he is already really good on the map, and that just displays here that as he is over doubled the points ahead of second place, and it's just really solid performance on map 1 by Scrapie.
Yeah, so we're gonna have our second map coming up now. It is Mushrooms, which is also gonna be played out for 5 rounds. You can see it in the top right corner, and we are gonna be beginning the first round with everyone being off to a very good start. CarlJr right now a bit behind. Now this hairpin, very crucial to get the maximum speed out of it. And this landing might cause... oh my god, Papou almost pulling off a handstand right there. We have seen that in the group stage. Maybe you guys remember the TMGL group stage where Roland has lost his first place by getting a very awkward landing on that said sculpture. So that is something that almost happened to Papou right there. So a little bit of a time loss right there. And the players are pretty spread in this round. On top of that, Kappa on first place. He needs those 10 points. Definitely a good boost here for him. Scrapie trying to attack. And now we're coming down to the identity of this map. The mushrooms that you're jumping on. Some consecutive jumps right here. And Scrapie actually with a bit more speed. But he's not going to have the greatest angle. So no overtake here for P1. It's still going to be Kappa staying in front of the Belgian player. CarlJr on third. And Papou with the 3 points out of this round. With a 1.65 second deficit.
Papou actually having to jump on 3 mushrooms instead of 2, and that just lowers your speed by a whole lot since he wasn't bouncing super clearly and not all over the place. So he goes down to last place, but into round number 2 out of 5 we go as Scrapie touches the wall right there, so he will have low speed. Fortunately for him, it was a low speed section as CarlJr touched the wall on the exit. And does he even have enough speed to jump this sculpture? Just about, but he is super far behind. So I wonder if he even he's even gonna finish this this round here, as Papou is in the first place by over half a second of the lead, down to Kappa, who is in second. And Kappa seems to have a slightly better exit after that corner, as he's now 0.2 behind. Very low jump by Kappa.
Kappa.
The wall, and also that's just a sloppy mistake. You hate to see that if you're Kappa. And that actually just gives Papou a lot bigger gap down to second place. Over a second there. And he takes it. Papou with the first place. Actually, Scrapie getting second after a mistake by Kappa. I didn't catch that. I hope you did.
I did.
Kappa in third and CarlJr in fourth. Once again, that is really unfortunate to see for him.
Yeah, right now not the greatest match for Solary CarlJr with 27 points right now on last place on the scoreboard. Scrapie with 58 right now, still dominating. Kappa with 37 and Papou with 33. So the fight for that second place is still hot and spicy, considering that we have the point limit of 120, which is still nowhere close to be reached. Kappa with an insane hairpin right there was able to boost himself up to first place. Scrapie and Papou have been struggling a bit to get that hairpin exit speed right, so they will find themselves a little further back. Kappa and CarlJr fighting for that first place. They of course want those 10 points. And this dirt section now, this exit, the dirt jump. Oh, CarlJr having to release, lands on the barrier and will get thrown back to fourth place after that misjudgment of the line. So that's going to be a setback for him. Scrapie now with the overtake on Kappa, who got a bit of a wonky landing, but Scrapie touching the bubble. Will he have enough speed to pass the mushrooms right there? Looks good for Scrapie. He will make it right there. Kappa with a wonky landing right there. Papou. He will have to respawn right there. So Papa will actually not finish again. Oh. He is gonna be having to deal with another DNF, the third one for Papou. Do you think it's gonna play him a bit of a trick right here, like these DNFs?
Well, he has 3 DNFs and he's still not in last, so I'm sure that he's fine for now. As we go into round number 4 out of 5 on mushrooms here. So a clean start for everybody so far, it seems. As I said, that Scrapie caster curves, I guess, as he makes a big mistake, and he probably still finishes, but he is way too far behind in order to catch up. As Kappa takes the lead here. Yeah, CarlJr once again releasing in that part. As Kappa and Papou shoots himself up into the 1-2. Kappa right now actually goes, before he made that mistake now, he goes a little bit further away from the wall, which I think is really smart by him. Ooh, Papou once again, almost actually flipping in the end there once again, but Kappa pretty easily takes home a first place, not too much risk there, as Papou gets second, CarlJr in third place, and Scrapie had a first DNF of the Grand League for him.
Yep, Scrapie gets the DNF. He has, luckily, fortunately for him, he has that buffer to work with. So there's still 15 points between Scrapie and Kappa. So that DNF didn't hurt him too much. But then again, Scrapie wants to make sure that he doesn't do that again. Otherwise, the gap is going to melt very, very fast. On the last round, onto mushrooms we go. Papou touching the wall on the outside, and that is going to be a very bad landing on the sculpture, where, as I said before, you need to accumulate enough speed to pass the jump properly, because you don't want to land on the uphill, but you want to land on the straight part. Oh, Kappa clipping the pole right there in the air. Very, very close right there. You saw there was only a millimeter that he was off. So Kappa dropping down to 3rd place, and we have the fight for first between Scrapie and CarlJr now, approaching the mushrooms. Who is going to get the better landings? Whoever gets the speed here will make it, and Scrapie will not be able to stabilize his car in time, and almost front flipped after the final bounce off the mushrooms. And from 1st to 3rd he goes, which is going to be a big point loss for him again. Lucky for him that Kappa this time around will have the DNF, so CarlJr is the only player that hasn't DNF'd yet.
And he is tied for last place, so I don't know about that one, but Scrapie so far with 72 points is completely dominating this round right here, and it's great to see, actually, because we obviously had a couple of... We had 2 players dominating the group stages, so mixing it up with a bit of spice here might not be too shabby. Indeed. But into Elevate we go, and yeah, that was the wall hit you also in the pre-warm-up thing. Yep. As this ending is gonna be very spicy, I can already feel it.
Yeah, the ending, I've shown it earlier. I'm gonna show you again as soon as we get there. This map built by Firestorm, the TrackMania Grand League being sponsored by maps built by Nadeo and by the community. So this one has been built by German mapper Firestorm, and this one of course has received a bit of a modification for the ending, for the new cup mode that is going to be used here for this one. And we see this part, the upwards booster jumps right here. Taking a look at CarlJr, who went for a respawn, so he's going to show us how to do it. That is basically what makes or breaks your run. And then we also have the ending, where you can go to the left as CarlJr or Scrapie, who goes for a very, very nice ending. Not sure if you saw that, Radiance, but that was a really good looking ending right there by Scrapie. So you guys on your monitors, you've seen how to do the ending. Either you go to the left, which is the easy route, the easy way out, or you go for the very risky jump into the finish line. So, first round. Let's take it off right here with a little bit of an easy, very fast-paced beginning. Onto the platform we go, where you just gotta be precise with your lines. Precise. And close to the walls. And right now it is CarlJr that is getting the best exit speed out of this part. This part right here that you've seen is a bit, yeah, tough to get through, because it's not a lot of room to work with. And we've seen Papou already drop down by 1.5 seconds, leaving CarlJr, Scrapie, and Kappa alone. Kappa now making a mistake in that left-hander. Went a bit too tight, was a bit too optimistic right there, so it will leave CarlJr and Scrapie alone. Scrapie might have the upper hand, had a little bit of a more flat landing, so it will be decided in the ending. I believe Scrapie is going to go for that risky jump, so let's see what's going to happen. Indeed, Scrapie is going to go for it. Will he make it? He will make it, and Scrapie up to first. CarlJr will stay on P2 with that safe strat. Kappa on 3rd and Papou with 4th, and that was a very, very well executed ending by Scrapie, who goes up to 82 points. What a performance by him.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed it during the warm-ups before the match even started, but when we played this map, Scrapie was just consistently hunting that finish line, and he got it every single time. So I wouldn't be surprised if he takes out all of the rounds on this map right here, if he doesn't make mistakes up until the ending, that is. But into round number 2 we go. CarlJr and Kappa with the best of the starts. Papou a little bit behind, as Scrapie almost makes a mistake. Very good grass turn by Papou there. Shoots himself up into 2nd place, but CarlJr is 1st. Actually, Papou getting a small slide there, so he will drop back a little bit. And Scrapie with more of an inside line, not too much speed, but that comes back here. As we have a different approach by Papou onto these steps right here. As CarlJr finds himself in 1st place. No one has made a big mistake so far. And it is neck and neck for all these 3 players. Let's see what will CarlJr do. Everybody goes for the safe approach, except Scrapie, who fails the ending. But Scrapie was in 4th place anyway, so he might as well go for it. Let's see if he drops down here. Oh, unfortunate DNF for Scrapie with this ending right here, as I have just talked him up before the round. That is unlockable, as we have a pause by Papou.
Yep, so as you might have heard earlier, every player is able to deploy 2 breaks of 30 seconds each. The breaks, however, can't be in the first and can't be in the last round, so Papou now dropping a tactical break of 30 seconds for him to just get himself together again, since right now he is on last place with 54 points. Kappa and CarlJr tying for that second place, tying for the survival in the winner bracket of the TrackMania Grand League. 61 points for both, and then there's Scrapie with 82, who has gotten the DNF. But as you said earlier, Radiance, I think this was to be expected by Scrapie, because he is a risky player, and he has that point gap to work with, and he is somewhat consistent at that ending. It might look easy for you to just nail that last jump, but it's really, really hard because there's only one spot and one angle that works. So a lot can go wrong at the ending. Going into round number 3, after the break, we see Papou, not with the greatest start, has gotten a bit of a wonky transition from the grass up the road, so he will find himself on last place with a 0.3 deficit. Also goes for a later slide than all of the others, which is not going to set him back by too much. And now the steps. 3 jumps onto the boosters. Left, straight, and to the right. Everyone will make it, and now the ending will be decisive. Once again, CarlJr in the lead. He is definitely going to go for the safe one, I am pretty sure. And then there's Kappa and Scrapie. Scrapie the only one that goes for it. Will he make it? And he makes it! Scrapie wins the round with a 0.3 advantage, and this is how much it gains him. Half a second gained by Scrapie just by risking it for the biscuit at the ending. And Scrapie goes up to 92 points, is now 25 points ahead of his opponents.
I want to see Scrapie play Kaki as Kaki, man. This guy is insane as he takes home another first place finish to go into round number 4 out of 5 here. As Scrapie finds himself in the lead, goes a little bit wide but comes back here with a little bit of angle and a little more speed. But Papou goes up there. No one crashed there yet. Of course, in the group stage we saw a funny triple crash happening on lap 1, I believe it was. So I believe it is somewhere on the internet, and I would definitely recommend you to watch that. As Kappa right now is in the first place. Who is going to fail the steps? No one fails the steps. Ooh, Papou almost landing on the quarter pipe, but fortunately for him, he just about dodges it. As we go into the ending, Scrapie
too high!
The finish. Can he turtle himself into the finish line? He can turtle himself into the finish line. As Kappa takes first with 0.03 seconds down to Papou, and only 0.09 of a second down to CarlJr.
Very close.
Kappa going up a little bit there in the rankings, actually overtaking CarlJr now.
Yeah, the thing about Scrapie's risk is that on the other hand, next to the fact that he is losing points, he is also giving the other players the opportunity to gain those big 10 points. So the gap is getting a little bit smaller, but still 22 points between Scrapie and his opponents, so he can still do it again, and I'm pretty sure he will do it in the final round of Elevate, with everyone having a very, very good beginning. We see a little bit of a zigzag to minimize the airtime going from the grass onto the road part, everyone within a 10th of a second right now, with Kappa in the lead. CarlJr with a very direct, aggressive inside line on the platform turn. Didn't really pay off for him, but now the step's going to be important. No one has failed these yet, so that is very, very surprising and good to see. Kappa with a really risky approach. Didn't get a lot of the boost, so you can see the speed disadvantage that he's getting out of that line. And now the ending. Scrapie, as per usual, is going to go for it. And he is not going to make it. Scrapie has died. And we have Kappa that takes first in front of Papou and CarlJr. 700ths of a second between all 3 of those players. Wow.
Papou and CarlJr actually having the same time on this round. But yeah, that was a do or die map for Scrapie. It was 10 points or 0 points, and he got a couple of victories out of that one. But I do not know if that was worth it. He might have screwed it up a little bit too much.
Yeah, a bit too much risk.
Liking. Yeah, exactly. But on to Betwinners we go. I believe this was CarlJr's map pick. So definitely wanna look out for that one.
Exactly, so CarlJr's pick, meaning that he might be confident on this one. This one is the map that has a very, very difficult end jump right here. We have the camera on it. We have the quarter pipe jump going from the bottom up the top. You have the choice to either jump under the blimp, which is very tight because you don't have a lot of room to work with. If you jump too low under the blimp, you will clip one of those quarter pipes and you will not be able to finish. If you jump too high, you will crash into the blimp. So there are many, many ways to ruin your run and lose valuable points. Or you can go for the safe approach, which is going over the blimp entirely, but that is more than a whole second slower. So let's see who's gonna go for it. I remember, I don't know if you remember, Radiance, but Kappa, when we played Betwinners in this, in the group stage of the TMGO, when this map has been played in laps mode, Kappa always went for the high jump. Do you think he's gonna go for it again? Like here?
That is a good question. He is kind of up there with the points, but I reckon that he's trained the lower finish, as he actually just went for the lower finish right there behind Scrapie. So probably is going to go for the lower finish. I would assume because. Wait, Scrapie?
Yeah, did you see that?
I need to see this guy on Kaki maps. Like really,
man,
he's too good. He is actually too good.
Even after the finish line, that was interesting. Yeah. All right, going into the first out of 5 rounds with Scrapie 95, Kappa 85, CarlJr 75, and Papou with 69. So nothing is decided yet, especially after Scrapie losing a couple points here. Round number 1 is beginning with a little bit of a downhill start, and CarlJr clipping the pole in that right-hand tight drift to the right. So it will be a little bit of a time deficit for CarlJr to catch up, and Kappa now making a mistake here as well. So 2 players down, leaving Scrapie and Papou alone. Papou needs those 10 points, and Scrapie wants to get away. So 2 players with a big motive to gain those 10 points out of this round. Let's see what is going to happen here. Coming towards the last part of the track, jumping through the sculpture. Papou taking it a bit easier than Scrapie. You saw Scrapie with a bit more speed through the jump. CarlJr trailing Papou at this point. And Kappa too far behind to make any difference. So now we have the jump. Who is going to go for it here? Scrapie, low jump. Papou, low jump. CarlJr, low jump. Everyone makes it, and everyone will survive, even though CarlJr clips a little bit. And also Kappa will make the low jump. So here we have our positions. Scrapie wins the round in front of Papou, CarlJr, and Kappa. And Scrapie now crossing the 3-digit point mark. We have 105 for the Belgian player. He can reach finals mode on this map, Radiance.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see what he can do. So let's follow him for this round, as he actually is the only one to full speed that section there. Everyone releases a little bit, except for Scrapie, but a slightly unfortunate U-turn down there after the downhill.
Ooh,
actually,
Kappa.
Yeah, Kappa actually ellipse on the jump right there, and he goes down into 4th place, not too far behind. So if anyone makes a mistake on that Zeppelin jump, there is still room for him to gain a position or 2. As CarlJr shoots himself up into the lead, and Papou goes down to 3rd place. Scrapie with a ultra risky jump there through the sculpture and goes up into 1st place. As Kappa had make another mistake, is now 5 seconds behind, so he can't make any more mistakes in this round. As we go into the Zeppelin jump, neck and neck, 3 players, Scrapie, Papou, and CarlJr, who will make it. Scrapie goes for a little bit interesting line. Papou hit, and he will have to respawn. CarlJr is now in 1st place, and he will take it. Scrapie in 2nd place. Where is Kappa? Kappa and Papou are battling right now to finish. Papou will finish, and Kappa will also finish. So everybody finishes, even though we had a lot of mistakes in this round. And Scrapie is now on 111 points, so it's going to be good to see if he can go into finalist status in this round here.
Indeed, he needs 1 first place, and then he will cross the 120 point limit, which means that he will qualify for finalist mode. And then he needs to win 1 more round, and he will be in the next round of the playoffs. First mistake by Scrapie, and that is not going to be the round where he will qualify for finalist mode. Scrapie dropping down to last place. Papou on 1st, followed by CarlJr and Kappa, who made a mistake as well. Scrapie up to 3rd, which is going to be 1 extra point for him. But other than that, Papou and CarlJr having a good battle so far. Papou with a great underground section. Now we have this set of jumps where you need to stay as straight as possible. Don't want to adjust your line a lot. Through the sculpture we go. Both Papou and CarlJr for going for a very similar trajectory. And now coming down to the infamous ending of Betwinners in round number 3. Papou having a lot of gap to work with, so he doesn't necessarily have to risk it a lot. Let's see what's going to happen. We have the camera on CarlJr, who's going to make it. Papou! He respawned! I can't believe it! Papou has respawned, and CarlJr will take that 1st place. Papou is gonna finish on 2nd place. 1 DNF by Scrapie. Kappa barely able to reach the finish line. This round was a mess.
Yeah, everyone except CarlJr actually failed the Zeppelin jump on the 1st try, so they had to do a swift respawn. You really need to know your limits with this Zeppelin jump. If you fail it, you need to know it instantly, else you don't have enough time to finish. As go into round number 4, Scrapie not a mistake on the downhill this time around, so he finds himself in 1st place at the moment with a little train behind him, let's just say it like that. They are super close right now as go into this jumpy section right here. It's kind of like it's divided 2 and 2. So Scrapie and CarlJr battling for first right now. Papou and Kappa battling for third place. As Kappa has a really sick jump. He did the Scrapie method there from jumping in the middle into the right side. So he would gain a little bit, but he messed up the angle in the next turn. So we'll drop back onto the Zeppelin jump. We go. CarlJr will make it. Ooh, Papou with a small touch.
Oh,
He has to
Scrapie!
respawn instantly. Scrapie with no speed right now. Ooh, just about makes in third place. Will Papou actually have time to finish? I don't think he will. No
Oh,
finish.
he finished. He
for
finished.
Wait, did he?
Yeah, he
Didn't seem
did.
Like that.
He did.
What?
It really didn't
Okay.
look like it, but he did reach the finish line.
Well,
Papou will get 3 points. And Kappa,
Kappa now
with
with
a
a
break.
or
Yep.
with another respawn, with the pause.
Indeed, 20,
That did
30
not look
seconds.
like Papou. That didn't look like Papou finished on my screen.
Indeed. So we have 3 players now above 100 points. Scrapie, 115, hasn't been able to reach finals mode yet, so this map wasn't good for him at all. He has lost all of his gap pretty much. Only 6 points left between Scrapie and CarlJr. Kappa with 101, also still well within reach, and maybe this pause is going to help him a bit, since he has made a couple mistakes on this map as well. And then there's Papou with 88. Not sure if he's going to go full attack mode right here, because that's the only thing that is kind of worth doing at this point, since the match is coming closer to the ending. On round number 5 we go. Kappa with the best hairpin will go up to first place, but he goes for a very awkward jump right here. Goes very high, but in return he gets a lot of exit speed. So Kappa will remain on first place, but all of the players trailing in the background. Scrapie right now a bit behind, but not even more than 2/10 of a second, tearing all of those 4 players apart. Kappa not with the greatest speed entering the dirt section, and he will drop down all the way from first to third place. Goes for another release and hits the wall. Kappa is out, leaving the remaining 3 players alone on the track. Scrapie with a very direct, aggressive inside line, not with the greatest speed though. CarlJr will be on first, Papou on second, and this will be very important, because if CarlJr gets the 10 points, he will have the slap in the face 119 point situation. Now we have the ending. Who is gonna make it? Oh, Papou! Papou with the overtake! What is happening here in the ending? It is Papou that snipes! And Papou will get the 10 points in front of CarlJr and Scrapie. And then there's Kappa, who wasn't able to capitalize on that break and gets another DNF. And that is really good for Papou, because the 10 points are exactly what he needs.
And Scrapie with 119 slap in your face points. Really unfortunate for him that he wasn't able to pull off the finalist status, making it a little bit easier for him on this last map, which will be a Eurosky. I don't know if we don't find a winner here if it resets. I guess we'll find out if it happens. But we go into Eurosky, which was the randomized map that the players were warming up before the match on as well. And I'm just interested to see the battles on this one, because this one is, I wouldn't say the most difficult map. So there's a lot of room for a very good fight between all these players.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what is going to happen is that at the end we're going to have a lot of position changes. The beginning is straightforward, but there is quite some discrepancy that is possible if you don't pick the perfect line. So these easy turns right here, you want to take them without drifting. You just want to let off the accelerator to adjust your line and to make sure that you don't hit the walls. So you work a lot with releases. You don't really want to drift there, because that is slower. All of these players will go for such a line. And then we have the identity of this map, Eurosky, with the slalom zigzag downhill near the ending. And then a simple finish where Kappa is opting for a wallbang. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to go for that wallbang, but we are going to go live into the first out of 5 rounds, and here is where decisions are going to be made, Radiance. 101 for Kappa, 115 for CarlJr, 119 for Scrapie. This is tight.
Papou's still not out of this one yet with 98 as well. So if he just has a super good last map here, he will still be able to do it. As this start here, pretty straightforward. Actually, you can't PF it, but these players have some shenanigans with some releases and stuff to pick up more boosters. So they will shoot themselves a little bit forward, as CarlJr is the first player out of the start in this NASCAR part of the track. Not really the most popular style, but is definitely there, as Kappa is a little bit behind now. Papou taking the full boosters, and the other guys are not. So a little bit of a different trajectory by him, and he shoots himself up into second place, even first place now as he overtakes CarlJr.
Oh,
so
Kappa!
It is neck and neck. Kappa is back in it, yeah. As Papou
Oh!
on the start in the ending, sorry, and CarlJr with a no slide. So Kappa takes first, Scrapie up into second place, and he will get final status right here. Papou in third place and CarlJr fourth place. So CarlJr will still not be finalist.
Oh my god, Kappa has went from last to first because he did capitalize on all of those mistakes that happened in the ending. What a performance right there. Unbelievable. And Scrapie will go into his first finalist attempt right here. He has one round to work with before anyone else will qualify, most likely CarlJr, because he only needs to finish in order to become a finalist as well. Let's take a look at Scrapie. The first finalist attempt for him, the Belgian player right now, not with the greatest beginning, but nothing is decided yet as we only have less than 2/10 of a second between all of those players. But Scrapie gets the drift over the Randstein, and that is gonna throw him out of the battle unless all of the other players are gonna make a mistake. Kappa with an insane drift to the right goes up to first place right here. Papou with a very different trajectory. We've seen that in the previous round, and he will shoot himself up to first place. And now the downhill. Who is going to get this the best? We're going to take a look at CarlJr. He is going to give us a good overview, but I think the battle for first is going to be between Kappa and Papou. Who's going to get the ending bat? That will be Kappa! That almost falls into the hole, and he had it in the pocket. He could have been a finalist, and he got a very bad wallbang right there, and he almost got thrown into the hole. Kappa, really unfortunate, and we're going to have two finalists now. CarlJr and Scrapie, double final situation, and if those two don't finish it, we might even see another finalist Radiance.
Is this gonna be the 4 finalists? It
I
can
don't know,
happen
man.
in this round. If Kappa takes, or if Papou takes first, Kappa second, there are 4 finalists in this first GMGL match of the playoffs. As Papou doesn't have the greatest start compared to the other guys, but it is CarlJr and Scrapie this is all about right now, as they are first and second, and also both finalists. As Scrapie has a little better exit speed there, so he jumps up into first place. Going to the left with a drift there. Scrapie goes a little too close to the wall and actually touches it, so CarlJr is now first place. Pretty safe up there by himself as he touches the wall on the inside there. Now Papou is actually first and Kappa is in second.
No way! Kappa!
Kappa almost falls in the hole and he had to respawn, so now he is definitely not in it. Papou though is in first place, has a good wall bang there and will take it home. Kappa with a last place, 118 points right now, and not even actually DNF, so he has to get a second or a first place now in order to save himself. It is really important that he gets second or first now. And the other players can also, of course, if they don't win, they can deny him as well.
What am I witnessing?
They need to finish, even though they don't win.
Triple finalist situation between CarlJr, Scrapie, and Papou. We now have to look at Kappa, because if he gets first, he will deny all 3 finals, and he has what it takes. Kappa has a great pace on this track. Right now, he's on P3, CarlJr with a great beginning, Scrapie trailing right behind in the slipstream. P2 for the Belgian player. CarlJr with a very early release. Kappa gets the auto slide over the Randstein. He's most likely going to be out of this one. CarlJr on first, followed by Scrapie and Papou. Papou pushing it to the limits right there in that right-hand drift. Goes for his signature line, and he will pass CarlJr midair. But not the greatest exit for Papou, so CarlJr will stay on first place. Now the zigzag is going to be very important to get Papou with a lower speed. Papou will actually pass, but we have a back and forth between CarlJr and Papou right there. The wallbang will decide it, and it will be CarlJr that will take it home right here. CarlJr wins this match and will remain in the winner bracket of the TrackMania Grand League playoffs.
Kappa 119 points. That is unfortunate. If he didn't DNF in the round before, he would have been finalist right now and had a lot more to play against. So he has to do the double victory right now as we go into round number 5 on Eurosky. The last map, probably. I don't know if Kappa wins this, if they go back to Paradise Palms, and that would definitely benefit Scrapie. So Scrapie has all the good chances right now in order to qualify himself in the winners bracket. As we go out from the start right now, Scrapie is in first place as Kappa has a pretty good turn. There comes Papou, but Scrapie actually with a big release, and he released a little more than he should. Kappa now first place for him at the moment as Papou trails just behind him. Here we go into the big jump over these poles. Scrapie with not the greatest speed lands on one of the bubbles, but that actually shoots him forward a little bit, so he might have practiced that. Papou is now in first place, whereas Kappa is just behind him, but it is all about this descent right here as Papou has a super line. Has the good wallbang right there, and Papou will take second place. Scrapie in third, and Kappa in fourth place. So CarlJr and Papou advances in the winners bracket. and Scrapie and Kappa unfortunately moves down into lower bracket, even though they had super good starts to this match right here, and the map order just completely screwed them over as CarlJr and Papou came back.
But you hate to see it, man. I really feel sorry for Scrapie. He has been dominating the entire match. He has been having a point lead that was more than 20 points down to second place. And now, he didn't even make it through. He is down to the loser bracket. And that is gonna be quite devastating for him, I'm sure. Scrapie, once again, not completing the job. We have seen Scrapie having a bit of trouble in a similar fashion. A bit of trouble finishing the job. And right here, he sadly made it happen again. So unfortunately, Scrapie, the Belgian player, will drop down to the loser bracket. But nothing's lost yet. In the loser bracket, you can still qualify for the grand final, which is going to be played at the Paris Games Week, live on stage in front of a massive crowd. So for Scrapie, it's not over yet, but this for sure will make him think.
Yeah, definitely. And also a public service announcement. If, of course, we had a new UI right here, and you couldn't see the times. We're well aware of that. If you have, it has already been mentioned, and I think it's going to be fixed for next week. But if you have any other suggestions or feedback, then please leave it in the hashtag feedback section of the Discord. I don't know if the Discord is in the description. I do not think it is. But you can probably find it somewhere, and leave your feedback in there if you have some interesting ideas for UI or whatever you want to see, and maybe it can be done.
Indeed, so all of the feedback is appreciated.
Yep.
And yeah. Regardless of that, I hope you enjoyed the cast. We are going to return next Sunday at 4 PM CST for the next match. In the winner bracket, we're going to have the second semi-final. Let me quickly check what awaits you there. It is going to be a match between Pack, Spam, Bren, and... who's the last one? I have no brain. Let me see. Pack, Spam, Roland, and Bren. So that's going to be our second winner bracket match right here. So make sure to not miss out on that, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, twitch.tv/ManiaPlanet at 4 PM CST. Hopefully with some updates to the UI, so you guys won't complain about anything missing. If you have any suggestions, once again, into the Discord it goes. And without further ado, we thank you for watching. And thank you, Radiance, for casting together with me. It was a pleasure as always. And until then, have a great remaining of your Sunday. Take care and see you the 8th of September 2019 for the next match in the TrackMania Grand League Beta Season Playoffs. Bye bye.
See you guys.